All right. Welcome back in a three-man bunk bed. Nolan, what's going on?
What's up, man? What's up?
Dude, I'm fired up over that video.
Oh, God. Got a new video. Feeling good. New video, new me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, new video, new us. Really, except that we're two bunking it for the three-man bunk bed today.
Someday we'll get our other bunk back.
One day we'll have all three bunk beds like on a regular basis. It's okay.
We're running out of time. It's already halfway over.
Yeah, well, it is almost halfway over. What are we at? Like 55%, 56%
Something
of
like
the season?
that. Yeah.
Week 10 of 17.
Oh.
Yeah. How's it going? How's your fantasy season going?
Well, my dynasty league that I'm trying to tank, I'm winning games, and all my other leagues where I'm trying to win, I'm not doing great. So.
Oh, and it's like the second year in a row you've badly tanked.
Yeah, I know. I'm
dynasty league.
Super awful at it. So last year, I was tanking for a pick. I started out 3-1, and I said F it, and I traded for JJ. This year, tried to tank, traded JJ away. Fantastic timing, because I added Cousins in that trade. So I came out on top. But I'm still winning games. I traded away my best player. It's kind of disgusting.
I'm with it. I'm thinking of not playing a kicker in that same league just for fun. Just shake things up.
Chaos, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the league where I'm coming off the championship, and I still ended up with Puka. So rich gets richer in that one.
Wow, it hasn't looked great the last couple weeks. They're getting real desperate for a quarterback right now.
They have Carson Wentz now.
Oh, my God. He'll bring them to the promised land. That's what they need.
Carson Wentz. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not crazy. He's played for the Rams before, right? Like,
I think you're crazy. That doesn't feel right.
I feel like he did. I feel like it was the Eagles, and then it was somebody, and not the Commanders.
No, it was the Colts, right?
Oh, yuck. Okay, that might be
the Colts. True. The sleeper on browser on my computer's awful, so it doesn't want to load.
Okay. I don't even know. Can you even pull Wentz up? I mean, is it like
he's in there. One of those he's staring at me. It's just not loading in.
One of those forbidden. Let's see. Philly. Yeah, Indianapolis, Washington, Rams. Okay. All right. Well. But look, he's had a top 10 season once in 2017.
Oh, no.
Who was he even throwing to in 2017? I mean, like, is that rookie? I don't even know. Jalen Reagor. I mean. But while you're looking that up, so welcome back to another week. This is episode 12 of Three-Man Bunk Bed, week 10 of the NFL season. A lot of great stuff coming at you today. It's not going to be a 45-minute podcast. We've got like 15 or 20 minutes. You're welcome. We're going to go over some starts, some sits, some positive injury news, and then just some general stuff around the league. So Nolan, what's the verdict? Who did Wentz throw to in his top 10 season?
Well, it's harder to find this than I thought it was going to be.
No, you
sort by position. Well, I want this website sort.
This is user error.
This is
like
I'm on the Eagles website and it's awful. It won't even let me sort. And they're not in any order.
I'll give people context into Nolan's struggles. So Nolan and I play an online game. If you've never heard of it, we play.
Well, they had Nelson Aguilar.
Oh,
they had little Jay Ajayi.
Oh yeah,
they had a bunch of people I've never heard of. Zach Ertz.
Oh, okay. That was good, Zach Ertz.
Yeah, Zach Ertz. And LeGarrette Blount. That was probably the end of it right there. Yeah. So those are the only ones worth a mention.
2017 was so long ago.
Yeah.
So for those of you who know, we play Weddle at work, Nolan and I, and it's kind of like Wordle, but you got to guess the NFL player. And the daily struggle for Nolan is figuring out the difference between the AFC and the NFC.
I'm so bad at it. I just have no idea.
Just to reinforce what kind of fantasy football podcast this is like normal people who just like talking about it. And so sometimes our takes are going to be a little confusing because they're just – they make no sense. But that's okay. We're here for you to give you this information. So while you're out there and you're looking for your fantasy football content, make sure to look for Three-Man Bunk Bed on YouTube, on Spotify, on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. All right, Nolan, let's do some positive injury news. We got some people that are coming off of like IR. They're getting their 21-day windows activated. Probably the biggest one I would imagine, is Justin Jefferson. So
Yep.
I thought, when he got hurt, the time he got hurt, I think the Vikings were 1 win or winless still. And I really felt like they were going to shut this guy down for the season.
They need to still do it. I'm still on the shut him down train.
But
You've got Josh Dobbs starting for you for the rest of the year. Even if he does come back, what are you playing for? Why risk another injury?
Win a championship with Josh Dobbs?
Hey, man. Not with the record you're starting at. No.
I'm just saying. Look, going back to our Lord and Savior Carson Wentz. He was leading MVP voting the year that they won the Super Bowl, and he didn't even play.
He didn't even play. Our Lord and Savior Nick Foles won that championship.
I'm just saying. You look at Josh Dobbs, you look at Nick Foles, and you go, those guys can do the same stuff. Right?
I want a fantasy chip with Nick Foles. So
yeah, exactly.
Fond memories.
But for those of you with fantasy shares of Justin Jefferson, look, if this dude gets on the field, Josh Dobbs, and I'll get to how I feel about Josh Dobbs, other than he's a real good person. You got to play Justin Jefferson, right? If he's healthy and he's on the field, you kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be worse than a flex play. So watch out for the listings. He was a limited participant in Wednesday's practice, today's practice. So he's definitely trending towards playing. I imagine they're going to err on the side of caution. We're not going to, they're not going to let him tear his ACL outright or something like that. So, JJ, officially active in his 21-day practice window. Next up for me on that one is James Conner. So, James Conner for the Cardinals. Stand by. So we were having one of those dog moments where he just wouldn't stop.
So this is, I think, the one I'm most excited about because Amari DiMercato was playing for them, and he's hurt now too. And then you have just nobody. And I feel like with Kyler also trending, coming back probably this week, that offense could get moving again. And I feel like that might be the coming back from injury best one.
And they're coming up against Atlanta, right? So when you talk about it, I'm not here to tell you it's like a cush matchup, but I am here to say they're worse teams to be playing matchup wise than the Falcons, right? They're going to present some things that the Cardinals can take advantage of. They just are. And because of their incompetent offense themselves, they're going to put the Cardinals offense in position to be successful. So I'm with you. James Conner, if he's on the field, especially with Kyler back, Trey McBride's hitting his stride, Hollywood Brown's there, play him, right? Plug him right back into your RB2 spot and be happy that he's back. I don't know about Kyler. We'll see. We'll see when he ends up showing up. They look like they're in the hunt. But only a team like the Cardinals can mess up having the number 1 overall pick by winning too much. That's definitely possible. So, they just gave up 11 fantasy points, but 31 real-life points to the Josh Dobbs Vikings without Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
And KJ got hurt, and TJ got hurt, and Madison got hurt. Or not Madison, but Akers got hurt. So, if they can do that, then Kyler Murray, James Conner, and Trey McBride, and Hollywood can probably do well themselves. With you on that. Next, Khalil Herbert's coming back for the Bears.
I'm excited for this one, too.
Yeah, that's a big one. They're still rocking Tyson Bagent. I think Justin Fields is still holding that questionable status.
He's officially doubtful, actually.
Oh, so, no. Is it still fat thumbitis? Is that
it's fat thumbitis. Because they have the Thursday night game, too, don't they?
Yeah, short
that's
week. That's
probably part of it, yeah.
So they're going to play Tyson Bagent. They're coming up against, who is it, Carolina. Yeah, they're not going to risk Justin Fields against Carolina, right?
You should beat them handily and with ease.
Yeah, Khalil Herbert's going to come back in. They're hopefully going to put some points on him and let them bury him between rotating that running back court. Take some of that load off Tyson Bagent. So Khalil Herbert back. The last one, and this is a homer for Nolan. It's really for both of us. I haven't been so big on this player, but I'm huge on the team. David Montgomery's back for the Lions.
Playing this week. He had Dan Campbell said today that he had a couple really great practices, no setbacks. He's looking like he is a full go for this weekend.
Dude,
if you listen to this podcast at all, I'm a big Monty guy this year. I'm excited to have him back. I have him in every league. I need him back.
Well, he was double digits every game except for the Tampa Bay game where he got hurt.
That's right.
and they need him back. This Chargers game is probably going to be like last person to score, and he's an integral part to that offense. So, welcome back, David Montgomery, and as long as they're not playing my Saints, like let's go Lions.
I'm here for it.
No, let me ask you this: is this not conflicting for you because you're also like a Herbert boy, a Justin Herbert boy?
Yeah. It's okay. I just hope they all have fun.
We just hope they go out there and they throw 60 points on each other.
I've been so disappointed with the Chargers this year. I've been so mad. Like, Kellen Moore was supposed to just bring them to the next level, and they just look bad. And I don't get why. They have all the talent in the world. Like, it really does feel like it's coming down to, like, the coach and the defense is just choking them away.
Do we know? They have all the talent on paper for defense, and they have a defensive head coach, and they struggle to finish games. That's all Brandon Staley for me. Like, this guy's got to go. And he's 2 years too long. Gots to go. For me, if they're going to keep Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator, and this is off topic, but if they're going to keep Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator, I'm running out and I'm hiring Dan Quinn to make the most of that defense. And we know he's a pretty good head coach. That's what I would do. I think that would be an instant upgrade for them, leaning into their strengths as long as they think Kellen Moore can be the operator for the offense. So that's my big four kind of on the 21-day window. These guys have been out for a while, so you've been having to adjust. So that's a good look on that. Nolan, what you got on this one?
What? Sorry, zoned out.
No. What are you guys this week? You were telling me before we started.
So my big guy this week. So we know the injury news. Chase is dealing with the back injury, and T. Higgins had a hamstring injury at practice today. Apparently, it's looking like Chase is probably going to play even with the back, but T. Higgins is playing is more in doubt. So with that, everybody's going to say, hey, go get Tyler Boyd. We're going to take a sharp left turn. Everybody go get Andre Ishivis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's the play. Like, he's gotten consistent looks, like, the whole time. And now with the top two targets, I feel like he's just going to be the guy going forward, or at least this week. Maybe not going forward. But,
I mean, you don't know. Maybe. They're going to need somebody to step up. Tyler Boyd, I don't know if they do another contract with Tyler Boyd. T. Higgins is literally in his contract year. So, like, if they don't plan on re-signing these guys, somebody's got to step up. And, look, he doesn't have a huge projection, but, I mean, 6'3", this guy tested well at the combine, and he's coming up against Houston, and we know Houston's going to score points, so they're going to need.
So they're going to have to chuck the ball,
Yeah. Yep. I like that. And look, there's a lot of I'm going to talk. I've got to start and a sit this week for myself. And when you look at it, like look at the bye weeks this week. We got Kansas City on bye week, so no Mahomes, no Kelsey. Mm-hmm. It's really all you got on that team. Maybe Pacheco. You got the Rams. So even though they're struggling, you were still playing Puka. You were still playing Cooper Kupp.
Well, I don't know if you should be,
but you were still plugging them in, right? Like in
Puka's
your 10
had some bad weeks.
You were playing them.
Yeah.
No Miami this week, so Tua, Jalen, Tyreek. And one of those running backs, whichever one you want to pick. And then no Philadelphia, right? So no Jalen Hurts, one of the running backs, no A.J. Brown, no Devontae Smith, and then poor Dallas Goedert got hurt anyways. So I don't know if we could say like
no DeAndre Swift, fucking pour one out. We had that argument.
Four teams full of guys that I think have been starting for people on the roster. So
definitely.
I've identified a start and a sit. It's not like positioned or anything like that. Just kind of looking at matchups this week. I'll start with my start just because I think it's just a pretty good matchup for him. And he's not really had that good of a year. But I think if I have Tony Pollard in leagues, I'm starting him this week. Dallas beat the crap out of New York the first time this year, and that was when New York was fully, and I'm gonna do the fully healthy.
Fully.
And so this is like the exact opposite of that. So they're starting Tommy DeVito at quarterback. Yikes. And last time they played, when they had their $40 million a year quarterback, the Cowboys put 40 fantasy points on the Giants, and that's. Look, again, for the casual person who might not understand, 40 fantasy points from a quarterback is stellar. This was 40 fantasy points for a defense. The Cowboys defense were the number one fantasy football asset in the first week.
First 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the Giants are worse now than they were then. And I would say, arguably, the Cowboys are better. Like they're playing well right now.
Yep.
So bounce back game for Tony Pollard. I think game script is just going to allow the Cowboys to jump up to an early lead and then hopefully just run the game away. So if they're running the ball, Tony Pollard's going to be a part of that as long as he can stay healthy. So if I've got him, I'm starting Tony Pollard pretty safely this week.
Yep. Well, I kind of jumped the gun. I already gave you my start.
I'm with
Andre
that,
Ishibis, but yeah. Also, Charbonnet, probably maybe another low-key start that a lot of people aren't thinking about. They've always and will always be a run-first team. And Walker is probably not playing. So, yeah, he was dealing with something too. He didn't practice at all today.
Coming up against Washington too, right? Like,
yep.
So I mean, they just traded, two of their star pass rushers. Even if they're not, Chase Young isn't playing great. He's still, starting for him, right? So, that might be a pretty good matchup. I like that. Well, let's talk sits. I am going to talk what I think, on Twitter and on Reddit and around the league is probably like a fan favorite right now, just because of like the character of person he is.
Okay.
But I think he presents a bad matchup in fantasy football this week. So in a week where you can't play Mahomes, you can't play Tua, and you can't play Jalen because they're on bye weeks, you're going to look to stream a quarterback. And I'm telling you, stay away from Josh Dobbs.
Don't do it.
It's a bad matchup. I'm a Saints homer. Lots of you out there know that, but it's just a bad matchup on paper on the field. So Dobbs has only thrown over 250 yards once this season. He has 3 consecutive games rushing the ball, rushing touchdowns, which is kind of elevating his points more than it should. And the Saints defense have not allowed a quarterback touchdown rushing since week 2. Not to mention, Josh Dobbs might have to do this against the Saints defense, without all of the nicknames. Maybe no JJ, maybe no KJ, maybe no TJ. And so, it's wild. And so he's going to have to trot out there in his second week in the offense with Jordan Addison and Alexander Madison and whoever else they can field, and try to put up points for you. So I'm just saying there's got to be better options out there. Unless you're in like a really deep league, don't start Josh Dobbs. This is a bad week for it.
Well, mine is going to be a little hard to say, but he's got another downgraded quarterback, and they're playing probably one of the better pass defense teams in the league. I'm going to say sit Devontae Adams. Ooh, I know. He has had a couple bad weeks in a row where he's only had 1 reception 2 weeks ago, and last week he only had 4. He had 2 fantasy points against Detroit. He had 7 against the Giants, and the Giants don't have a great defense. But going against the Jets, who probably have, a top 3 defense in the league?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a scary one to put him out there for.
Oh, yeah. You look on the sleeper projection, it's his lowest total points projected for a week he has all season. Is against the Jets. Now he's still projected 14 points, right. But look, this is a guy who 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 out of the last 5 weeks has not eclipsed the double-digit points.
He also hasn't hit his projection since week 3.
Yeah,
so
I think that's probably safe. Somehow, by the way, even with that, it's just because of the Pittsburgh and the Buffalo games. He's still wide receiver 14. But what we're saying is, bad matchup, and he's not playing well right now.
Yep. That's the one. He's being propped up by that 140-point week. Let's just be real with it.
Yeah.
Without that 140-point week, he's probably a wide receiver 3.
Yeah. This feels like one of those guys. Next week we'll do maybe we'll do a who to plan
how
for.
we did.
Yeah. I think next week we could do a plan for the back half of the season, right? Like who do we need to make sure that you're starting the back half? That might be a good look. But yeah, Adams is he's out. On that, I like.
It's
that
hard to say because it's where he went in drafts. It's hard to bench the guy you take that early, But it's just there's too many other options. There's even people just on waivers I'm more confident in.
Well, Nolan, I got a fun stat for the day.
Let's hear it.
I'm not biased at all. But do you know who the receiver who has the second most all-purpose yards this year behind only Tyreek Hill is?
No, I don't.
New Orleans Saint Rashid Shaheed is second in the
really?
NFL in all-purpose yards behind only Tyreek Hill.
Does that count his return yards?
I mean, I'm sure, Nolan, it's all-purpose.
I'm just saying.
It's all-purpose. Okay?
That's the cherry-pick stats we love.
I'm just saying. But it is a factual stat, okay? And we're here for it, okay? Yeah, so that's my fun stat for the week here.
Love it.
Well, look, let me I think that's about all we have for y'all today. Look, I've got my Grizz jersey on, my Jaren Jackson Jr. jersey. So, Nolan, as of this second, we have a Grizz lead.
Oh, my God, we do. I just turned it back on.
Yeah. So it's a good time for us to wrap this up and get to the back half of this game.
Yeah, right.
Grizzlies are going for not week 2, but second win of the season.
Second win. So, we need it. Give it to us.
Yep. You got anything else for them, Nolan?
Nah, man, I'm good. Good luck on all your games this week.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for giving Man Bunkbed a listen. Please check us out, YouTube, Spotify, and, of course, go to the Fantasy Football Advice Network and check it out. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.